Welcome along to the At the Races web preview of the Glenfarclas Handicap Chase, the Cross Country Chase. It's the fourth race on the Wednesday, run over the 3 miles, 7 furlongs of the unique cross-country obstacles. And very shortly, we're going to get the thoughts of my studio guest today, Paul Jones, who's the author of the Weatherby's Cheltenham Festival Betting Guide. First, though, here's a look at some of the key contenders in action.
They're off the bend and racing now to the final fence in the Glenfarclas P.P. Hogan Cross Country Memorial, and it's Love Rory and Nina Carberry out 3 lengths clear, followed in second by Quizcover Fontaine and Big Shoe a straight shot over the last. Love Rory, Big Shoe, Quizcover Fontaine a straight shot, Nedge's return, but Love Rory is the leader. Big Shoe putting in a late bid, but Nina will beat Paul as Love Rory scores another one for Enda Bulger. Race now with Valmy Bay making ground between horses to the final flight now, and it's Wicklow Gold with Valmy Bay coming there in the centre, Celan Chief in the centre, and on the outside Star Neuville at the last. Valmy Bay and Celan Chief towards the near side, racing now inside the final 250 yards, and Valmy Bay and Denny Mullins stretch on a couple of lengths clear as they go up towards the finish, and Valmy Bay wins from Celan Chief, cleared of Star Neuville. Homeward bound now as they swing in. Supreme Dock, quantitative easing on the outside. Carlingford Lock towards the inside. And then a break to Jackson's Lady. They're on the run up towards the final 200 yards. Carlingford Lock and Tony McCoy coming there. Quantitative easing on the near side. Niall Madden, Supreme Dock and Muirhead come next. They're racing up towards the finish. And it's going to be a JP McManus winner. But which one? Carlingford Lock and Tony McCoy will give JP his 6th Galway Plate win. Coming down to the final fence now, Tobatok, and on the far side, Knocklong. Tobatok made a mistake, so too did Knocklong. Wrong turn is 3rd and down under 4. They're inside the last 200 yards now, and Tobatok digging deep on the far side from Knocklong, and wrong turn, putting in a strong bid on the outside. They're racing up towards the finish, and wrong turn on the near side of Tobatok. They hit the line.
Well, it's certainly a unique race, loved by some, less popular with others, Paul, but what we do know for sure is the Irish have an excellent record in this race, and as always, the Enda Bulger runners as well, probably one of the first places to start.
Yeah, well, it's been 9 runnings this race, and Enda Bulger has had the winner or second in 7 of them. He was a little weak in this department last year, but it looks like he might have 2 or 3 strong contenders this year in Love Rory, Quantitative Easing and Star Neuville.
Well, let's start with Love Rory if we can. We saw him as our opening race in the form guide, and this is a really key race with regards to the Glenfarclas Cross Country and has been in previous years. We've got Love Rory getting the better of Big Shoe on his seasonal debut. Of course, he was the big double winner of the cross country at Cheltenham and Punchestown, and Quizcover Fontaine in this as well. Yeah,
well, Love Rory, I think, certainly had race fitness over Big Shoe. On this occasion, it was Big Shoe's first run since he won the Latouche Cup. I also thought he had the run of the race. There was a lot of weakness behind Big Shoe in the betting before the race. I'm pretty confident he'll turn around the form, to be honest with you, back at Cheltenham, and also over an extra 7 furlongs, which you'll love.
And Big Shoe was second in this race before his success last year.
He was. It wasn't his seasonal debut last year when he was second in this race, but he was bumping into a Punchestown specialist in Arabella Boy that day. But Love Rory is from the same yard as Arabella Boy, only a 7-year-old. I'm not massively keen on the younger horses in the cross-country races. Only 2 7-year-olds have won since they started racing at Cheltenham in these races since 1995.
So Nina got the better of her brother Paul that day, didn't she? But you think they'll be turning the tables next time round?
I do. I mean, Love Rory is going to be on better terms, but I think the race fitness and the extra distance will turn it around for Big Shoe.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other races in our form guide as well, and we'll have a look now at a handicap hurdle, perhaps not the most traditional prep for the cross-country race, but this is Star Neuville, who was 3rd at Fairyhouse on this occasion. Again, another from the Enda Bulger armoury.
Yeah, he's really interesting because there's been a lot of money for him over the last few days. He's been talked up on the Irish preview evening circuit. trained by Enda Bolger. He's had the 3 runs for Enda Bolger. Hasn't run in a Banks race yet, but apparently he's skipping over the cross-country fences brilliantly at home, and that's reflected in the money for him. And this was a horse who A.P. McCoy actually rode in the Champion Bumper 3 years ago.
And he hasn't covered himself in glory, shall we say, at Cheltenham in a couple of runs. He's had a few runs over cross-country. Would you like to have seen that win on the board?
Yeah, well, he's trained by Enda Bolger, so not particularly. He did run twice in Banks races at the Punchestown Festival, and the second of those was only beaten half length by Sizing Australia. So, yeah, I wouldn't be worried about lack of experience over these fences for him.
Yeah, he certainly does plenty of schooling with them. We're going to look at 2 contenders now who are newcomers to the cross-country field. This is Quantitative Easing, who we can have a look finishing second in the Galway Plate. So he'll be debuting over the cross-country fences next week.
Yes, he will be. That's not a good thing. Over the last 30 races over the Cheltenham cross-country courses, only one cross-country debutant has won, so that's a bit of a negative. He was starting to look a bit bored with racing, so I think it was a good move to switch him to Enda Bolger, and this is evidence of that, finishing second to Carlingford Lock, who won a Grade 1 2 starts later in the Galway Plate, and he's an interesting runner if he takes to the fences. And I'm sure he's been extremely well schooled by Enda Bolger.
I'm sure he has, so plenty of Enda Bolger runners, as always, to concentrate on. We've got one from the Tony Martin team to look at as well. The last horse we're going to look at is Wrong Turn. Again, one who will be heading over the cross-country fences for the first time. Yeah,
again, that's that negative stat, not having run in a Banks race before. He is trained by Tony Martin, however, and Tony Martin used to be very good in these races. He doesn't have so many in them these days, but Linden's Lotto, I think he was a 3-time winner over these fences back in the 1990s. Wonder Kid was another winner over these fences for Tony Martin, and he's won his last 2 handicap chases, so he's undoubtedly interesting.
And it's 8-1 to the Irish, as you alluded to. Some British contenders in there, Balthazar King, Sarkalonji. Are you sticking with the Irish?
Oh, I'm definitely sticking with the Irish. I think Balthazar King is ground dependent whether he's going to run. They pulled him out on the day last year. They're talking about running him in a €100,000 race in France, so if the ground's too heavy he won't run, but Duke of Lucca could represent Philip Hobbs if he doesn't run. And any currencies actually, he's waited to turn round form with Balthazar King on the November running, and Martin Keithley's put him up as his best chance of the week of his runners.
So that could be the best chance of the British, but you're sticking with the Irish. Was your idea of the winner pool?
Boringly the favourite, I'm afraid. Big Shoe. This race generally goes to the front 3 in the betting.
Hard to get away from him. Big Shoe is the pick for Paul Jones in the Glenfarclas Handicap Chase, the cross-country race on Wednesday.